Hello, everybody. It is Stacy Barkheimer, and I am super excited to be with you here tonight. Oh, somebody just joined me. Hi, Denise. It's just you and I. So, listen, I am super excited because Pure Romance just announced that we are going to start a booking blitz. How freaking cool is that? So, for all of you new girls that are not sure what the heck a booking blitz is, I'm going to show you a couple things. So, a booking blitz is an event that takes place during a certain period of time, and Pure Romance actually awards you for booking parties during this blitz. And from now until it kicks off, we are going to be providing you all sorts of information to help you get parties on the books. Now, if you go to your COO, which is your consultant online office, and the very first thing you're going to see is this thing that says the Flash Booking Blitz. So please go out there and read. This is a very special booking blitz because we signed so many people during the $99 kit special that Pure Romance wants to reward you. So what's different about this one, in the past, it was all based on how many parties booked for a team. This time, it is all about you. So if you are a consultant to a senior director, you are eligible to win all sorts of prizes for the booking blitz. The only the only thing that you have to remember is the parties. It starts October 1st, okay? So it's any parties that you have booked from October 1st, right, to, I believe, November 30th, it says here. So all that you have to do is make sure that you go out to your COO and you put them either in the COO under My Business, My Parties. Make sure that you add them and that you include all the pertinent information, okay? Or you can add them in Pure Sale. It's your choice. If you've already got parties in there for October, November, they are going to count. Now, what's going to happen? Pure Romance is going to be going live during certain periods of time. So they'll have top consultants sharing ideas, ways to get parties booked. As long as you're putting your parties into the COO or Pure Sale, you are eligible for prizes. So it's not team-based, it's individual-based. How freaking awesome is this? They're going to be giving over $50,000 in free product. Now, what is free product to you? That is money in your pocket. Free is free, right? So make sure that you read down through the Booking Blitz details. There's going to be actual live broadcast October 1st from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. and October 2nd from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. So you can actually tune in. They'll be doing live drawings, pulling your name out. So get those parties into the COO or Pure Sale as soon as possible. There's a list of rules here for you, so make sure that you go down through, and there's also resources available for you. So this is going to be a fantastic time. Now, on top of this, your leadership group and myself will be awarding all sorts of prizes to girls that are participating in this Flash Booking Blitz. So this is a great opportunity, guys, especially with you new girls. We're going to give you scripts to use and ideas to post out on the Facebook. All sorts of information will be flowing. Make sure that you're tuned in and you are ready to participate because this is such an exciting time. So again, go out to your COO. As soon as you log into the COO, you're going to see this Flash Booking Blitz. All you got to do is click on Read More, and all the instructions are there. We're going to be providing, your leadership group and myself are going to be providing more information on Team G Unit, but this is a great time, especially those of you that are looking to reheat your business. These next few months, October, November, December, can be some of your busiest months if you plan it correctly. So we're going to be there to help you and support you, but it is going to be an exciting time. Make sure that your parties are put into the COO or to Pure Sale to be counted for the Booking Blitz. This is so awesome. So listen, we had a phenomenal last month, and we are on fire. We're almost $200,000 higher than what we were last year at this time. So this is just fantastic information. So How great is this? So I'm going to have this recorded so it'll replay so you guys can get all the information on the Flash Booking Blitz. I want to kind of use this opportunity. I know right now I'm just going to mute. Someone's phone is making crazy noise. So let me just see if I can just mute until we get to the Q&A part. Okay. So let me see here. I don't know whose phone that is. Okay. So Heather, I think that was your phone, but babe, whenever we get back on, I promise just unmute yourself if you have any questions. I kind of wanted to go through some sexual health with you guys. This is kind of what I'm known for, is the sexual health realm. I don't know how that reputation came to be, but I kind of wanted to go through what I teach at all of our world conferences and national training. I just thought it would be great information because so many of you are so new. And I'm going to tell you, just having a little bit of sexual health information is really going to set you apart from all those other consultants, right? Because we're an intimate-based business, people like to learn, and when you can teach someone something and you can, I know Denise is on this call and I'm telling you she is really good with her sexual health information. You command a room when you can educate. So the parties are supposed to be fun, but when you can mix a little fun with education, it truly makes a huge difference. So I'm going to leave lots of time for Q&A at the end of this. I just thought it would be great to kind of go through what I teach other consultants on sexual health. Last night, I got the honor of helping our founder, Patty Brisbane, with a sexual health conference. So a lot of the information that I am privy to, it is doctors, it's GYNs. And so I just thought, how great would it be? I've got this huge amount of knowledge and I would love to share it with you guys. Now, remember, when you're doing a party, your party's about an hour long. So you're not trying to put all of this information into your demo. You're just trying to drop. It's like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. You just want to just kind of drop these little hints. And then when you get into the ordering room, that's when people feel comfortable with you and they want to ask more information. So I hope you guys enjoy this information. I know that we've got some really smart ladies. If you guys haven't had the opportunity to interact with Jessica Coons, she is our anal queen. Seriously, if you have any questions about anal play, comfort, how to introduce the toys, things like that, make sure that you send Jessica a message. She is a wealth of information on that. I know with, most of our girls that are really successful, they really got the education piece of it. So we're just going to jump right into it. And again, write down your questions because I want to be able to answer all of those at the end. And I am recording this. So if someone that you love isn't on the call, they'll be able to come back and actually watch it. So here we go. All right. So this is the actual slide presentation that I do at national trainings and world conference. Obviously, we update it with pertinent information as it changes because sexual health does change a lot. So let's get right into it. So, as consultants, I know that you've heard the term empower, educate, and entertain, but we're going to start with some education. And I'm going to show you how to intertwine it with the entertain piece, right? And when you combine the educate and the entertain, that's how you get the empowerment. That's how these women walk out of these parties feeling so much smarter, all right? Now, I want you to think about this statistic. 80% of women still are not consistently having orgasms, meaning they might have one, but they're not sure how they achieved it. And so I think it's important, like that is a really neat statistic to start a party with because it draws their attention. It helps them understand they are not alone. There are other people that are, having issues, having these orgasms and they're not broken. They just need a little help. All right. So what we've got going on here, provide a comfortable, safe, and judgment-free environment, meaning use gender terms that are neutral. So, today you're going to hear, in today's age, you're going to hear all sorts of things. We're finally very accepting of transgenders, and we're very accepting of we know that, there's lesbian couples, and I never like to make assumptions at my parties. And so what I've been trying to do is really use gender neutral terms like partner, I talk a lot about at the beginning, whether you're a sexy single or you're in an intimate relationship. And the great thing about using partner is it's so generic. It doesn't matter what what gender the actual partner is. Okay. And, try not to bash. I am known for this because it used to get me laughs, but, saying, making jokes about men, talking about the two pump chump, or, we like to keep products simple because men aren't that smart. All women struggle with low libido. So I'm going to give you some pointers about this. The thing about it is, low libido is affecting whether you have a penis or you have a vagina. Low libido is an issue today because of stress, diet, all of that. So, back in the old days, women weren't as educated. Now, I'm going to be 51 this week. I understand how to keep my body healthy. I know how to have orgasms now. I know that using vibration keeps the sex organ healthy, and it keeps those nerves close to the surface. I understand this now, but back in the old days, we weren't provided this information. So just understanding that you're going to get lots of questions, whether the partner has a penis or a vagina, you're going to get lots of questions. Usually one partner has a very high libido and one partner has a low sex drive, right? And they're just looking for answers to try to help. And I'm going to show you how to incorporate our products into this. Allow people to explore what feels good to them. So what that means, don't yuck somebody's yum, right? Especially, a lot of people are nervous about talking about anal. But I'm going to tell you, I do a lot of work with cancer support centers. And the very first time I interviewed for a cancer support center, all I wanted to do was go in and do a speaking engagement. And the very first question the cancer support center staff asked me was, if a woman was going through radiation treatment in her vaginal area, what would I recommend? And without a beat, I said, I would recommend anal. And she said, Stacy, can you explain to me how you could make that comfortable for her? And the thing about it is that I understand that intimacy it's not about penis vaginal penetration. Intimacy, it's just everything. It's touch, it's communication, it's, massages. But if you're looking for penetration when you are not able to have vaginal intercourse, anal is an option. You just have to be able to explain it comfortably. And I'm going to go through that with you guys. Erogenous zones can be different in all people. So some people claim to be able to have anal orgasms. And back in the old days, believe it or not, they used to say that the anus was not capable of having an orgasm. But we know now that that's not true. And I'm going to show you an image of the sex organ right inside the vagina. I'm going to show you everything is so compact that really pressure from the anus ultimately could help contribute to orgasm. And who cares where it's coming from? Some women can have, or some people can have nipple stimulation, which causes them to orgasm just through touch sometimes. I'll crack jokes with you guys, but sometimes somebody sticks a tongue in my ear and I'm like, woohoo, right? So what I like to just say here is that I just like to let people explore and explain to me when someone says to me, Stace, I can't have an orgasm, I'll say, when you're having intimacy, what feels good to you? And then we can explore those areas and how our products can fit into their lives. Much of what we do is giving permission to people to explore, right? So we're opening up their minds to things that society has told them maybe wasn't acceptable, right? Keep your personal stories. My entire demo, and I'm going to tell you girls this, my entire demo, when I talk about lubrication, when I talk about having, being difficult to have orgasms, my entire demo was built around my own personal experiences. I just don't use me as I can say things like I've had clients, or now that I understand how our bodies work, I can just use general terms. when you're not using lubrication as a vaginal moisturizer. A lot of times what happens is you have vaginal tearing during the initial entry period. That tearing can then cause scar tissue, and then it makes having orgasms even more difficult. So how do I know that? Because that happened to me, right? But I don't have to say, when I was having sex without lubrication, because I don't want my clients, I always want to be tasteful. It takes a lot to get into people's homes. And so I like to provide the information in a tasteful manner. I don't want them thinking about me, or, I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. So, and just don't judge. You're going to get all sorts of things, especially if you make people feel comfortable in the party environment. When they get into the ordering room, you're going to see a lot of tears, a lot of personal questions, a lot of things like that. So it's just allowing people to be comfortable, right? So intimacy is a beautiful thing, and it should be respected, all right? So what I mean by that is, again, we go back to how you're going to talk about it. You are going to, cancer is on such a rise. There are, there's, believe it or not, there's a vulva cancer. There is a clitoral cancer. There is vaginal, there's all of this stuff. So understanding number one, intimacy isn't penetration. Intimacy is couples fulfilling each other, right? Being able to touch and communicate and talk about what feels good to them. It doesn't always involve penetration. And it really is a beautiful thing. When I was going through my degree plan, when I did a little marriage counseling, and believe it or not, the two main reasons that couples actually divorce or separate is, number one, because of money, and number two, intimacy. And if you're sharing these little facts with people, I mean, wow, they are just perking up. And, believe it or not, that's a great sponsoring thing, because honestly, what I say is, relationships end for two reasons: money and intimacy. Tonight, I'm going to be able to help you with both of those. So where do we get reliable information? Well, you can watch my videos. The Patty Brisbane Foundation, everything I post on my VIP group about sexual health, I go to the Patty Brisbane Foundation, and I actually share her information because I know that it's current and it's from reliable resources. You can go to the COO training tab under sexual wellness. That tab is so beautifully organized and has such fabulous information. Everything I'm going to share with you today is out there. And then obviously Patty Brisbane's books. Between the Sheets is, a fabulous book. It was written a couple years ago, but it's still good information. And it's kind of built on the base of our party flow too. Sexy Ever After, Intimacy Post Cancer is another option. So we've got all kinds of resources right at your fingertips. Terminology tips: always use professional language. Every door that has been opened for me, speaking engagements, going into therapist's office and talking to clients that are taking antidepressants, cancer support centers, everything has always been offered to me at a party because people enjoyed my tasteful presentation. So I want you to know, as fun as it is to drop these, and don't get me wrong, you come to a bachelorette party with me and I might let loose a little bit, right? But I really try to use the correct terminology. So testicles instead of balls, labia instead of lips. There are words that I cannot say properly all the time. I have a learning disability, and so for me to say perineum, for whatever, sometimes it doesn't come out the right way. So what I like to do is describe the area. So I'll say, ladies, that area in between your anus and your vagina, that nice sensitive area in between, what's that called? And I'll let them tell me what it's called, and I'll say, exactly, that is another area that can benefit from vibration, not just for someone with a vagina, a vulva, but also someone with a penis, right? Because that area is super sensitive, nerve-ridged. So even just describing is a great way to sound professional. Anal sex instead of butt sex. I mean, I've heard girls talk about the Hershey Highway, and, depending on who is in your audience, I want you to think about when I went to my first party, I was 37, hated sex. I had been the victim of sexual assault. At 37, I had never even had an orgasm. If I would have went well, believe it or not, I did go to the party and the girl did say nasty things. But I remember leaving that party. I thought it was fascinating that people could talk about it, but I wanted to be better at it. I wanted to make people feel comfortable when I talked about sex. And so instead of blow job, you know, I mean, think about it. What is a blow job? You're not blowing on it. You're not like, right? So it's saying things like oral favors or, you know, just different words instead of just using the slang. Refer to the body parts as professional. I can't tell you how many women think the vulva is a vagina, and it's not the same thing, right? Your vulva is your external, the vagina is your vaginal opening, right? So it's a huge difference, but don't use words like hoo-ha and your box or your vajayjay. And then, you know, breast instead of tits or the girls. So again, it just sets you apart from other people that make them feel. Remember, they might even smile and laugh, but on the inside, they're like, I would never introduce my friends to this type of party, right? So it's hard enough to get in the door just because of the toys. So really presenting yourself in a professional manner helps so much. So let's talk basic anatomy. So I just gave it to you, right? The vulva and the vagina, they're not the same. So if you look at this, this is your external sex organ, and you've got your vagina, this is your vulva here, right? So I like to make things simple. I don't like to use big words because I know that when I first started discovering and educating myself, you know, I didn't know all these big words. So I have a vulva pillow, but I don't want you to think you have to get a vulva pillow. You can easily hold, you know, 2 fingers down and you can explain that this external area where the pubic hair used to be, ha ha ha, right? But you've got your pubic hair here, you've got your clitoral hood, which protects the clitoris. Kind of like the clitoris is a nerve-rich area. It's got 6,000 to 8,000 nerve endings, only function as sexual pleasure, and 80% of you need something clitoral to have a vaginal orgasm. That's such great information, right? You've got your labias, you've got your inner and outer labias. This whole area, there's almost 30,000 nerve endings externally on the vulva. So using vibration can actually stimulate this entire area, and you don't need to go straight for the clitoris, okay? So as I said, I just kind of like to use, I like people to understand when they leave. And then when you talk about the vagina, obviously the vagina is the internal. So that is actually one of our precious holes, right? 1 to 2 inches inside the vagina is where you experience your vaginal orgasms. It's that fatty area. Now, can you have vaginal orgasms, you know, more higher in the, yes, anything is capable, but it's understanding that it's right inside that vaginal area. When you tighten those muscles, that's why doing your PC exercises or that pelvic flooring, tightening that pelvic flooring, doing your exercises, that's a benefit. Because if you can't tighten around what's stimulating you, you can't stimulate the nerve endings and have a vaginal orgasm. So a lot of times, this is just important information, right? So this is the external, or, you know, you've got your vagina. So you've got your anus, which is, right? So you've got vagina, you've got that nice area right in between the anus and the vagina. You've got your clitoris. So it's just a beautiful thing. Penis, okay? This is your penis. And if you really look at the penis and the vagina, honestly, they're almost the same thing. Our clitoris, you know, comparably, it's an external sex organ, nerve ridged, it's exposed. That's why it's so easy just to walk, right? Just the feeling of it, your jeans riding up against it will get you excited, right? But because it's external, or the penis obviously is an external organ also. So you've got the shaft, the scrotum, right? And just a beautiful thing. But when you look internally, you know, really kind of look at this, guys. It's pretty much the same. And if you look at how compact this is, it's a beautiful thing. And, you know, if the partner has a penis, the reason anal for a person with a penis is so, if they are open to it, it can be one of the best experiences for them, because using a toy or finger stimulation up against the prostate gland can actually, right, cause these really intensive orgasms. So women, or a vagina, sorry, women or people with a vagina can see, I still struggle, I'm trying here, but so if there is a vagina, okay, so we can have G-spot orgasms. If they have a penis, believe it or not, we've got a G spot, and if there's a penis, we've got a P spot. So it's kind of the they're just very intense orgasms, but just very compact. So let's learn how to incorporate this into your party, right? Now, I want you to understand something. If we go, oh, how do I go back? Let me see. All right, so I want you to understand something. So do you see the clitoris here, and then you've got the vagina? So what happens, why foreplay is so important, is that as you're getting turned on, right? What happens is the clitoris has legs, and as you start to get turned on, the legs are actually inside, and as you start to get turned on, the legs start to swell. So clitoral legs can actually swell up to 6 inches. And if you look at how compact this is, the more time that you're spending in foreplay and that blood is filling those clitoral legs up, it's just making that whole inside very compact. And then when you have vaginal penetration, all that blood flow and nerve endings are there. And that's when you get to experience those mind blowers, right? Those toe curlers. So how would you incorporate this kind of stuff into a party? I'm going to help you. So let's party. All right. So from the beginning, my entire party is sexual health related, and I'm going to show you how to do it, even with fun. So when I go into a party, I thank my hostess. I do my I story, just how I got into the business. And then I talk about, we are a twofold company. And I like to tell people this about the Patty Brisbane Foundation, because I think it qualifies you to be in front of them and talking about things. So I say, we're a twofold organization. We've got the party plan side, but then we've got the information side. And that's through our nonprofit called the Patty Brisbane Foundation. The Patty Brisbane Foundation provides consultant with pertinent, up-to-date information so that we can come into your home and talk to you about things that might be going on with you now, or they might be going on with you in the future. So the 4 main areas of research for the Patty Brisbane Foundation is vulvovaginal pain disorders. So it can be just that achy vaginal area. Vulvodynia is another example. The other area is menopause, pre and post, intimacy after cancer, and low libido. And so by providing just this little bit, 43% of US women suffer from female sexual dysfunction. Did you guys know that? 50% of cancer survivors develop long-term sexual problems. 15% of women will suffer from chronic vulvar pain. And what's really interesting is most of their GYNs don't even know this, right? So Patty's out there doing all this research to help women. And so I think it's important. I like to talk just a little bit about the beginning and let people know. Now, after your I story, I talk about the Patty Brisbane Foundation. I like to add in an icebreaker, right? It's part of the party recipe. Now, my icebreaker, I just do the what if game. So I have people pull out a piece of paper and write down the word what if. And I say you have 30 seconds to write down a sexual health question. It can be anything. It can be, what if I don't use lubrication? What if I want to have anal? What if, so it can be anything sexual related. In 30 seconds, I want you to hold up the piece of paper. I'm going to come around and collect it. I collect the what if question, and then what I do is I shuffle them up and I hand them back out, and I say, all right, now you have 30 seconds to answer the question that I just gave you. Awesome. Now, once you've answered that question, I want you to pass it to the person to your right. Great. All right. Now, I want you to introduce yourself. So my name is Stacy, and I want you to read your what if question. So my name is Stacy. What if I don't use lubrication? And then I point to the girl beside her and I say, what answer do you have written on your paper? And she'll say, so the question is, what if I don't use lubrication? And I'll point to the girl beside her and she'll say, it'll hurt going up the butt. It is so fun. What if is out there on the COO. Make sure you go out and look at it. If you watch my party demo, on the new consultant training side, I kind of play the what if, but it's a fun icebreaker, but you can incorporate the sexual health piece of it. Now, why do I like to use the sexual health side of it? Because now I know what kind of questions people are interested in during my party. So if I hear a lot of anal questions, then I might talk about anal that night. If I hear a lot of lubrication questions, then obviously I'm going to really, really focus on the lubrication. So it's just a fun way to introduce sexual health. Now, at the beginning of all my demos, I always tell a story. So if you've watched my party demo, you know I like to do the flow of a romantic evening. So ladies, tonight as I go through the party demonstration, I want you to know I'm going to take you on a romantic evening. Whether you're a sexy single or you're in an intimate relationship, I'm going to show you how our products can be incorporated into your life. So we're going to start with the Bath and Beauty products, because if you don't feel pretty on the outside, you're not going to feel pretty on the inside. We're going to move into some lingerie. What you wear against your skin is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. Then we're going to head on over to some foreplay, right? So I'm going to show you how I do this. Then the foreplay, this is literally how I introduce the foreplay piece. Does anyone here bake? And someone will always raise their hand, and I'll say, so if you're going to bake a cake, what do you do to your oven? Well, I preheat it. So you're preheating to get the oven warm? Yeah, okay, awesome. What if you're in a rush and you come running home and shove your cake into a cold oven? What's going to happen to your cake? Well, it's not going to bake. Exactly, just like a vagina without foreplay, right? Women, if you have a vagina, it's an internal sex organ, meaning you're going to have that preheat phase. For some women, it can take 15 upwards to 30 minutes to actually get enough blood flow to the vaginal area, right, to actually experience a vaginal orgasm. So it's physiological. It starts at the brain. This is where everything happens. As you start to get turned on, the blood flow will move to the pit of your belly. You kind of get that warm, tingly sensation. As it heads to the labia, they're going to start to swell. But when it hits that clitoris, that's when you get that nice boom, boom, boom feeling, right? That blood flow is just pumping, 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 and it's opening up the vagina. It's called vaginal tenting, and it's the only time your body's ready to receive. It's physiological. You're not broken. You just need to spend some time. Then I can introduce some of the products. So what are some great foreplay products, right? So these enhancement creams that we sell are amazing. It is almost like Viagra for the clitoris, okay? There are so many products on the market for men or for their penis, but not many products on the market for a vagina, clitoris, all that great stuff. So what these enhancement products are designed to do, you're going to take about a pea-sized amount, you're going to rub it right into the clitoris. It is literally going to do that whole physiological thing I just taught you, right? It triggers to the brain, blood flow starts to flow to the pit of the belly, the labia swell, the clitoris, fills with blood, and you get that nice heartbeat, the vagina opens up. And so why would we want an enhancement product? Because if you're taking any type of medication, antidepressants, if you're taking antihistamines, if you're on any blood thinners, blood pressure medications, if you antihistamines and birth control, libido killer. And most of you, when you were prescribed this medication, no one said to you, hey, your sex drive might be lowered. I'm here to share that with you. You are not broken. You just need a little help from our friends here. Now, as consultants, what's the difference between these products, okay? Boost, so if you look at the active ingredient, it's called Triplex Tingle. Now, Boost and Amp have the exact amount of Triplex Tingle. It's 1 part. Pure has 2 parts Triplex Tingle. O has 3 parts Triplex Tingle. Now, a lot of people get Amp confused with O. I've heard a lot of consultants say, oh, Amp is way stronger than O. No, Amp is a gel. So that means it's not any stronger, it just absorbs faster because it's a gel, so they'll start to feel the results quicker. but O ultimately is the longest lasting, okay? And O, because it is 3 parts triplex tingle, it is actually unisex. So you can put it that pea-size amount on the clitoris. You can actually take some down the shaft of the penis also to bring blood flow, right? So Pure, anytime someone says to me, Stace, I've got sensitivities to any flavorings, I am just gonna recommend Pure. I don't give any other options, all right? And again, write down any questions and I'm so available after this to talk about anything you want to share. Now, water-based lubrication. Now, with your lubrications, I like to tell a story. Like, we don't go down water slides without water. It can be a painful experience. You get stuck, you know? And if you think about the inside of the vaginal area, so say you're having penetration and you didn't take all that time to get aroused and the blood flow didn't open it up. We didn't vaginally tent. What happens is a lot of times as you have penetration, getting through that initial entry is very difficult. It's because, you know, it's tight, and a lot of times once you get through that initial, then it opens up, right? But believe it or not, all the damage was done when you tried to get through that tight area. You have all this microscopic tearing, and bacteria can set in. It can cause yeast infections, burning after, you know, after intercourse when you urinate. But it also develops scar tissue, and that scar tissue will build up through the years, and it's going to make having vaginal orgasms so much more difficult. If you were using one of our amazing vaginal lubrications, the water-based, the non-flavored, right? Meaning, just like Me Original, the Seductive Spotlight, or the Euphoria, is almost a vaginal moisturizer. It's pH balanced. So using a fingertip for just inside the vaginal opening will help prevent some of that tearing, and it'll keep the walls nice and healthy. With these 3 products, the reason I really want to highlight the original, I'm not saying Just Like Me flavorings, it's still a great lubricant, but the only lubricants that as consultants you can say are condom friendly because they're FDA certified is Just Like Me Original, Seductive Spotlight, the purple, and the Euphoria water base. These are the only 3, and you cannot take them out of the wrapper. The minute you take any of our lubrications, these 3 out of their wrappers, you automatically void the FDA certification. So someone's going to say to you, ultimately, they're always going to ask, are these flavored products condom friendly? We are not legally allowed to speak about whether or not they're condom friendly. So when someone says that to me, the only ones I can say for sure are condom friendly is Just Like Me Original, Seductive Spotlight, and the Euphoria water base. So it's really important not to take those out of the wrapper. I know we want to put our labels on them, but the minute you take that wrapper off, you literally take the FDA certification away. So water-based lubrications have a re-wetting quality to them, meaning when you apply it, it absorbs into the membrane, right? But the minute that your body starts to produce its own lubrication, it will reactivate. So it's almost like it's giving you double protection. So just please be aware, don't take the wrappers off of any of these 3 lubrications. Silicone lubrications. Now, these are for my girls. My joke at my party is, now, let's talk about silicone, right? And so what is silicone? For those of you that are going to have, whether you're having vaginal dryness, you want to have some anal play, or water play, your pool, the neighbor's pool, or a mud puddle, you have to use silicone lubrication. Why? Because silicone lubrication is larger molecules and it sits on the surface and it doesn't absorb into the membrane. So it's going to be longer lasting. So if you're experiencing vaginal dryness, most likely due to hormones, I want you to know that this comfortable product will stay with you. If you're Simply Silk, if you're going to purchase a toy tonight, Simply Silk is what you need to recommend, because Simply Silk is a toy-friendly silicone. Now, if someone is looking to just say, I've had lots of clients who have extreme vaginal dryness. I mean, they sit down, the vagina cracks. They just want something for comfort so they don't have this painful feeling every time they sit, or so they're not even really looking for sexual products. I will recommend Pure Pleasure because it is a high concentrate of silicone, so it's longer lasting and it provides comfort. Silicone, Pure Pleasure with a toy. Listen, you're going to hear women like freak out. You can't use silicone on a silicone toy, right? Simply Silk is the toy friendly silicone, but I'm going to tell you, if someone for financial reasons really needs the Pure Pleasure for that long lasting comfort, I just let them know if they're going to buy a toy. Maybe they can't afford to get the Simply Silk. They just want the Pure Pleasure, right? I just tell them, as soon as you're done with your toy, just make sure you clean it. So I don't want people going into a panic. Now, if someone is going to try anal play, and that's really what they're interested in, is comfort during anal, Pure Pleasure is definitely your way to go because it does have that long-lasting glide. I want you to think about, the anus does not self-lubricate. So spit, it kills me when people say spit, because spit literally will dry out the tissue. So it actually can make it more painful. Pure Pleasure for anal play is highly recommended, all right? So just a little information. Again, Simply Silk. If someone buys a toy from me and they're going to have water play, anal, and they don't have a lot of money, I'm going to recommend the Simply Silk. It's still going to be comfortable, but if someone's going straight for some anal play, I'm definitely going to recommend that Pure Pleasure. So playful lubrications, believe it or not, a lot of times my clients will find the playful lubrications in the catalog. There's nothing wrong with playful lubrications. Because I really like the sexual health side of it, I really don't talk a lot about them, but here's just some, these are your fun lubrications, right? These are for special occasions. They're your red stilettos. Maybe you've overcharged the credit card and you owe somebody a big favor. So Whipped is our creamy emollient edible water base. Sensations is a gel, but it's a warming gel. Now, the difference between Sensations and a lot of the lubricants over the counter that warm, the reason they burn over the counter is because a lot of them contain a small concentration of chili pepper, which actually does burn both the penis and the vagina. Both of our lubrications are non-staining. And again, I always like to reiterate that they don't need to use large amounts of these products. A little goes a long way. But Whipped and Sensations, they are great for foreplay. You can give edible massages. You can use Whipped because it's a creamy emollient. You want to pair that with anything that slides on a penis. So your C-rings, your masturbation sleeves, because it just provides comfort. Gels sometimes can pull. So just, again, we're not trying to make you experts. I just want to give you some little pointers, right? So if someone comes into my ordering room and they buy a C-ring, I say, will you be using the C-ring with a penis? And if they say yes, I'll say, well, listen, you definitely need a creamy emollient lubrication. Here are my flavors available. Which do you choose, right? So it's just arming yourself with information in the back of your mind. So with my toys, I go straight sexual health with toys. So, vibrators are incredible. A lot of your oncologists and GYNs are recommending vibration. Believe it or not, if you use vibration on a fairly regular basis, not only is it helping with pelvic flooring, right? So it's helping you contract muscles. It's helping you with your PC exercises. That means if you're tightening as you're starting to orgasm, right? And if you're tightening around the toy, that vibration is increasing blood flow, and it's increasing blood flow and then bringing those nerve endings to the surface. So it's teaching your body how to have orgasms. It's keeping it healthy. Any nerve ending that lays dormant is not going to be a healthy nerve ending. Believe it or not, if you are not using your vagina, if you're not keeping it healthy down there and exercising it, and, you will lose the abilities. So I think it's important and I love bedroom accessories as far as intimacy tools. So if your partner has a penis, a lot of times they are finished before your body is even preheated. So if you want to even the playing field and make it more pleasurable for both of you, think about introducing vibration into the bedroom and have your partner use it with you. A lot of our toys are clitoral, like Premier and Opening Act. Your partner can rest those up against the labias, the clitoris while you're having penetration. 80% of you need some type of clitoral stimulation. So C-rings, clitoral vibrators. Again, it's not about replacing someone. It is about enhancing the experience. So love me some toys. So here's how we empower and educate. So again, I kind of get ahead of myself, but do you see here, I was talking about the clitoral legs. So if you've got the clitoris, as the clitoris starts to get aroused, do you see how these legs they swell, they're nerve-ridged. That's why having some clitoral stimulation to the point where you feel like you're about to orgasm and then stop, then have penetration with a penis or a vibrator, it's going to make the night so much different. And it is true. If you have a vagina, the great thing is so if you have a penis, you orgasm and you can't re-orgasm. If you have a vagina, believe it or not, usually after you have your first orgasm, if you wait a little bit and go back at it, we can have multiples because that's just the way it is, right? So it is such a beautiful thing. Your clitoris, you have a clitoral orgasm. So you're using your bullet. You're like, I love my bullet, Stacey. I'm like, I believe you, okay? But with your clitoral vibrators, what I want you to explain to your guest is once you get done, you have that nice little flutter, remove any vibration, get up, wipe your brow, take a drink, right? 2 to 4 minutes later, it completely rejuvenates and you can start all over again. It will last and last. You'll wake up with the vibrator just spinning around in your hair, right? But the clitoris is a beautiful thing. So I told you we've got about 8,000 nerve endings in the clitoris alone. Its sole purpose is pleasure. 80% need clitoral stimulation. These are just, you throw out a statistic, women will listen to you. I promise you. If all you say is, the first bedroom accessory most women will purchase because it's non-intrusive is a clitoral vibrator. Let me show you a couple choices that we have tonight. I promise they are going to buy them. And if you drop the word, 80% of you need clitoral stimulation to achieve any type of orgasm, they're going to perk up even more. So when you think about the clitoral legs, I love this. This is why many prefer those dual vibes, meaning it has clitoral and vaginal, because the clitoral is swelling the legs, and then you've got the shaft inside, and as that area swells, the nerve endings are closer to the shaft, which helps cause the orgasm. It is such a beautiful thing. I hope you guys are getting all turned on that are watching this right now. So all I can see is your eyes. It's so funny. All right, so vaginal stimulation. So 2 to 3 inches inside. I think I said 1 to 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches, sorry, inside the vagina. When you're about to have your orgasms, what I want you to understand is when you have something inserted inside your vagina, whether it's a penis or a bedroom accessory, you really want to contract those muscles. It's the tightening around those muscles that are going to stimulate the nerve endings and help you have a better orgasm. When we don't do our PC exercises using the exerciser, what happens is we actually get a lazy vagina, right? The muscles don't know how to contract. And so vaginal vibrators will help you with that. Our exerciser system, the 3 main areas exercising your PC muscles, your pelvic flooring. If you think about it, if you've got your vagina, your vaginal opening, you've got your anus, right? And then you've got that nice area, okay? That area is holding up your entire upper body for years, depending on how old you are. And if you're not, it's the most important muscle in your body, because if you're not exercising that pelvic flooring, there's 3 things that pelvic flooring exercises will help prevent. It'll help with bladder control, it'll help with sexual pleasure, and early prevention will help with prolapse. And if you've never seen what prolapse is, it's when your internal organs start to fall out of the vagina and the anus. And that's why exercising, using vibration, using our exerciser system early for prevention is so important. You don't want to wait till the birth of a baby or the sneeze pee syndrome to occur, you want to start early. So again, these are just really good points that you can start to share at your parties, right? Your G-spot stimulation. So what I do at my parties is I like to have them hold up their own hands, and I'll say, ladies, so I want you to hold up your hand like this. I hope you guys can see me. And I want you to think of this top area is where your pubic hair is or used to be, right? Now I want you to turn your vulva inside out, and I want you to face yourself. Right there, that's your G area, right? It's not necessarily a spot, it's an area. So to have penetration of that area, you almost need to have either 2 fingers with a come hither motion, maybe a vibrator with a nice tip to it, or fingers curled, right? Most women will experience their G-spot orgasm with fingers the very first time. Now, what happens though is as you're about to have a G-spot orgasm, most women will get the urge to urinate, and that's because the G-spot area rests so close to your to the urethra, all that great stuff. So a lot of times we will tense our bodies and we won't be able to experience this mind-blowing orgasm because we're in our heads. So the next time it happens, this is what I tell them at my party: I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think of me. And then I want you to let it go, because you can't come and go at the same time, ladies. And so I want you to rest assured that to find your G-spot, you must experience it, right? You've got to just relax and allow the sensation to overtake you. So such a beautiful thing. So story time, cleanup, and cuddle time. So what are some products that you can talk about during this period? Well, between the sheets, right? Because if you're having a G-spot orgasm, you might, right? Someone's going to leave a wet spot. You're not sure if it's yours or theirs, but when your partner gets up to go to the restroom, I want you to dab up that area with their pillow, because probably it's theirs. And then we're going to use between the sheets. It's a talc-based powder spray. You can shake it, spray it. The talc is going to dry it. The powder is going to leave a satin finish. You can lay back down. Works great for night sweats, fever breaks. You can use it in your shoes. Like, there's 100 reasons to use between the sheets. And then talking about TLC. So if tonight you go home with a toy, we're going to talk about TLC, right? We've got to give that toy some TLC. So Toy Toads, these are our antibacterial bags. They contain BioShield. They have up to 50 washes that the BioShield will stay intact, and it's going to protect your toy from all of those harmful dust and fuzz and chemicals, inside your drawer. We've got lubrication. Your vibrator is going to feel much better when you use lubrication. It's going to increase sensitivity, and it's going to help prevent any type of tearing with that initial penetration. And you're going to need cleaner. We have something called Come Clean. It's an antibacterial that's vaginal safe and toy friendly. So we're going to make sure that we throw some toy TLC with your toy. And then what is a dilator? Oh my God, I don't know if you guys have been to the back of the catalog and you're looking at these, different size things and you're like, what is that? So what happens is sometimes with age, or women who are going through cancer treatment, what happens is as we stop producing hormones, the vagina, because it's not producing hormones anymore, will actually start to tighten. And if you're not using a bedroom accessory, you're not having any type of penetration, sometimes it's just because of radiation chemo, the vagina will actually start to close to the point where they can't even have a gynecological exam. I have a friend that actually had to have her vagina surgically opened twice because it kept closing more or less. So your vaginal dilators are going to, if you ever sell a vaginal dilator, there's instructions inside of it for them to work with their physician. And the physician, it's a color-coded system that will help them determine how long they need to keep the dilator in to help keep the tissue open, right? But definitely the dilator set, we have one of the best on the market. A lot of the cancer support centers purchase those from us along with the Just Like Me lubrication. So just know that you do have that product, and there is a really good info sheet out on the COO about the dilator set. All right, so I'm gonna actually stop the share, and if I can find my, I'm gonna answer any questions. Does anybody, I hope that this was this helpful? Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to unmute. What do you guys think? Helpful?
Yes. Stacy.
Yes, my love.
So in the Euphoria collection, it comes with a little tote. Is that also? Okay, so we don't have to offer the toy tote.
Nope. And I love that you asked me. So you girls, if you don't know the Euphoria, that is a lifetime guarantee.
Okay.
I honestly didn't even realize it until somebody just told me the other day. So that is a really good selling point, right? You've got the bag to store the toy, but it also has a lifetime. Ooh, somebody is doing something loud.
I know.
Any other questions? Ooh. Oh, come on.
Will you be sharing this on the Facebook page?
Yeah, babe, I'm recording it. So I'll upload it to YouTube and then I'll drop the link.
Okay, sweet.
What you thought was it good? Okay. Well, listen, if after you guys don't forget about the booking blitz, right? It's going to start Monday, but you can start booking parties today. We're going to be dropping all kinds of information about how to book parties on the book, so you guys can earn all kinds of free stuff. Oh my God, what is that noise? Whoever this is, all I see is a black screen. Anyway, so I will upload this to YouTube, and if you guys, after you watch it, you're like, Stace, I got some more questions, just drop them in the comments, let me know, and I will definitely answer them for you. Bad. Oh, it was Heather. I don't know what she was doing. She must be farming her field out there. But thank you guys for spending your hump day with me. Oh, Beth is going to ask a question. Elizabeth. Elizabeth is on. Maybe not. I scared her. So freaking Elizabeth has done almost $3,000 in retail, and she just signed up like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, craziness. All right. Well, you kids, it's 9 p.m. Get some rest. Get your stuff ready to start doing this booking blitz. I'm here if you guys need anything, okay? Thank you for spending your evening with me. I miss you, Bethie.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love ya.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.